All right, what's going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to the episode of Legion of Comic Correction. We talk all things comic books. Woohoo!
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Listen,
man.
Here's the deal. You guys know I'm a diehard Marvel fan, diehard MCU fan. I'm getting there. I am. I'm the family
We're
guy.
breaking them down.
Man, this hurts. But today we're not talking about that yet. We are. We're doing
we are.
Well, not quite yet.
Yeah,
we're talking about Captain Marvel.
We are. You're in a delusional state. Okay?
Well, maybe
you are in a fully delusional state, and I'm putting it out there for Legion. Well, I don't know what planet you're on anymore.
Let's do our intro first, then you can tell me how delusional I am. You guys might have seen, if you're following us on our socials. If you're not, check it out. Links in the description.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, right?
Socials are probably the best part of the work that we do.
We put up a lot of stuff.
No, I don't do it.
Heavily we.
Yeah, we.
It's a heavy we.
Socials.
As a team,
as a full team,
put
do
up
the
lots
socials.
of things. Well, we just
Bury
posted,
the burden equally.
do you guys even know what the login information is?
Yes, I'll say it right now.
Don't say
So
it
it's
out loud.
Not again.
been there, done that.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I was going to say you did that already. Every
Anyway,
social because Harry blurted it out on here.
we just posted.
It's not like we're live.
It's
well,
fair.
I could have edited
It's
it
fair.
out.
Password
We
1, 2,
just-
3.
What kind
4,
of idiot is it? We just posted about watching the Marvels. So we're a little late. You guys know my son Parker was born, and so we took a little bit of a hiatus from podcasting. And during that time, the Marvels came out, and we were actually really thankful that we didn't have to go into theaters to see that movie.
My gosh.
It came out on Disney Plus, though, and so we watched it.
Couldn't imagine wasting so much money on this.
Right, well,
I got to nap for free instead of paying for it.
Yeah, there you go, Harry.
Not as comfy of a chair, though. Some of those theater chairs are pretty comfy.
Nice chair.
So
Fair,
we
fair.
watched the Marvels, and that's going to come out next week. But this week, we are going to talk about Captain Marvel, because it's only fair. Went back, we looked at... Well, I was really surprised. We never did it. I was really surprised.
Yeah, I know.
I went
can't
back
believe it
through.
didn't get in
I was
there.
like,
We trash on it all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
And we never actually did a proper correction on it. So we're going to do it today. We're going to do a correction today on Captain Marvel. So if you like podcasts about comic books and movies and TV shows and all that stuff that revolves around the beautiful world of mostly DC and Marvel and Star Wars, come here and watch us.
This is your place.
Listen to us.
This is your place.
Like and subscribe. It's the easiest way you can support
We're here
us.
for you.
Subscribe down below. Join us as we come out pretty much every week with new episodes.
Especially with DC and Marvel. No, with Star Wars, too. We're your support system.
That's right. And there's so much coming out right now. You need a good podcast to tell you what's good and what's not. And we're here
All
for
of
you
it
to
is
do that.
bad.
That's not true.
Yep.
There are good things.
Nope.
If you want to support us in a little bit of a bigger way, you can head down to the links in the description. There's a link to our site, legionofcc.com, where you can buy sweet merch like that. Sweet merch like this, sweet merch like that. Brett's here today, and sweet merch like the shirt underneath the other shirt. that he's
QR
wearing.
code.
Woo!
brisk.
It doesn't work.
A little brisk down here.
It kind of works. Join us there. You guys can. All that money goes to making this podcast better, so you can help us out there. If you want to help us out in an even bigger way, you can join our Patreon. Link is also down
Better,
below.
best.
Yeah, the higher, further, faster,
Bears.
baby.
Beats Battlestar Galactica.
That's right. And
correct.
you get extra content there, like extra podcasts, behind-the-scene footage, and artwork, and you get to vote on stuff. We're going to have a vote out in the next week
That
or
was
so,
a good
so-
batch of things. That's a good batch of things.
Right, you get to do our
But
taxes.
it is, I was going to say, it's coming up on tax season,
Tax
so
season's
they
coming
could
up.
help us with our taxes.
If you are good at taxes, let us know.
Yeah.
We might ask you
Drop
to do
it
it for
in
free.
comics.
Yeah, right there. All right, we're gonna jump into it, guys. We're gonna do this is actually, is this the first full correction of this year? Maybe the second.
No, it's
Might be
gotta
the
be the
second.
second.
We did
Well, we've done a lot
Aquaman.
of TV
We did
shows.
Aquaman, dude.
Aquaman was the first. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, I've tried to
Start
forget
up
that.
to your strong.
I tried to forget that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, we're the Legion of Comic
this
Correction,
movie-
so we're actually
that's true.
doing our job.
We're doing our job.
And
It hurts.
Harry, we keep complaining, but they keep giving us content.
They do.
Is the
Yeah,
reality.
Here's the deal. It's been
True.
almost 4 years now that
Since
we've
we
been
had a
doing
good
this.
movie.
Well, that's definitely true.
And my comic soul hurts a bit.
We're going through a lot.
It hurts a bit. This movie, though, better than Aquaman, I think.
In my wires
Oh,
here.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel
Yeah.
is better.
Captain
better
Marvel
than Aquaman.
is better than Aquaman
Yeah.
2.
Yes. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'd say it's on par with Aquaman.
You're in another world.
Well, we're going to talk about, guys.
Anyway.
Let's jump into our comic correction. It's Carnage Report time.
Chainsaws.
Yeah, we have them now. All right, Captain Marvel, guys. This came out in 2019, believe it or not, before the pandemic.
Right before Endgame.
That's right. That was right before Endgame.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point,
That's right,
Harry.
because the stinger in this movie is her coming back looking for Fury from the answer to the beeper.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool, and it was good. I was smart because she was gonna. We knew she was coming up from Infinity War, and so we wanted to see more of that, and that was good. And we'll talk about the progression of her character, especially in the Marvers. The Marvers.
It's the Marvers.
Call it whatever you want. It's
Call it
trash.
whatever you want.
Just call it whatever you want.
All right.
What
well,
murders?
First of all, what do you guys think the budget was for the first Captain Marvel?
$230 million. That's mine. 230. Lot of special effects, and Jude Law was the villain.
Jude Law, yeah, you got to pay.
You got
money for
Brie
those.
Larson had just won an Oscar.
Right.
You've got big names in there. I'm going 230. I think it's a big budget, and they bet big on Captain Marvel too.
You got to pay top dollar for Jude Law's cheekbones.
It's true.
Yeah, he gets them raised
Great
every
bone
movie.
structure.
Slightly raised
and he's
every
got that
movie.
accent, that accent that he's definitely a guy people crush on, right? Not speaking from personal
I was
experience.
about to say, I'm like, well,
Just saying.
anyway, Brett, what do you think?
He was in
Brett, what do
If
you think?
Season 2.
I said 230.
Even
What do you
digital,
think,
he looked
Brett?
great.
I think it. I was actually thinking closer to 300.
Whoa!
Wow. All right,
But you got to
300.
remember, Endgame was 300.
Yeah, and this is 20.
No. I'm sorry.
I don't remember how much
Infinity
Endgame
War was 300. Endgame was like 354.
Yeah, maybe like 285.
Ooh, that's a big budget. That's a big budget.
479 and 85 cents.
Endgame budget was $356 million. Jeez Louise.
Yep.
I mean, they did hold like the entire Hollywood elite in their cast.
Yeah, I mean,
that
everybody
movie.
was in that.
Everybody was in that
Every
movie.
single person.
Every single person.
You want to be a hero?
Honestly, probably
bring you in here.
like of A/upper B rated like actors, that was probably about like 25% of them.
Yeah,
Like
everybody
20%.
Like, how do I get in?
Yeah.
Right.
And after that, everyone got in.
And everyone got in.
I'm going to say
Yeah, what do you got?
100
Ooh,
and
throwing a one.
97 billion.
It's got a billion.
Billion. With a
Billion. Trillion.
Did you say billion?
No, I said million.
Okay. 100 and what million?
No, he started
97.
with billion.
197 million.
He started with billion.
Infinity War was 316.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, you're right there.
Oh,
That's
man.
crazy. You look at those numbers. You're the numbers guy.
In my head.
You're the Charlie Day with
in my head.
No, it's not me.
the numbers.
Yeah, it's one way or the other, man. I'm a swinging pendulum.
As a
here.
pendulum
Always
swings.
have been, always will be. All right.
Yep.
So Harry, you were closest, man. Oh,
Really?
Yeah, but I just closed it.
Good on you,
with
Harry.
a one.
Hold on.
Did you
It
really
does
just
start
close
with
it?
the one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you like?
I was going to go to
How do you do
180s, but I was
this?
like, it's got to be a little bit more than that.
Maybe 185 then. Maybe it is 180. I bet I'm
189
really
was the one that stuck in my head, but I went
special
No,
effects.
152.
What?
152.
152.
What?
Isn't that nuts?
That's
as soon as I started typing it in, I was
amazing.
like, no way.
Wow.
152.
That's pretty amazing.
One- 152.
Very, very
Yeah.
surprised.
And you know what? And
Yeah.
So this was the first movie. This was the first Marvel movie, MCU movie, where it had an entire movie of de-aging. So they'd done some de-aging in other films, like
Yeah.
with flashbacks and things like that. But this was the first, so Nicholas Fury. I was gonna say Nick Cage. Nick Fury was de-aged. So Samuel Jackson looked like his Pulp Fiction self the entire movie.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
And it looked good.
I hadn't even thought
if
about
you guys
that.
remember, do you guys remember the Irishman movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Freaky looking.
yeah.
Like it didn't look good. I mean, it looked good, but it didn't look great. Like it was kind of unnerving.
Yeah.
How does he say these things? Like it didn't look good. It looked good.
Well-
it didn't look good. Dude, you guys
Didn't look great.
stand firm on something.
It looked good, but it didn't look great. Like it was the
Okay,
best thing
that's
we've
a
done.
statement that makes sense.
Yeah, it was the best thing that they had done at that point, but there was something unnerving about it. Like it didn't quite look real. But I feel like Nick Fury. I rewatched it again just a couple weeks ago, and he looked great. Like
He holds
looked,
up.
Yeah, and maybe just because Sam Jackson looks
Okay.
good for his age already, and so
Well, I
it's
mean, they are
easier
throwing
to-
him all over the timeline. I mean, he's aging, de-aging. He's
he was one of the best
old,
parts of this movie.
young, like yeah,
really good. So, all right. So, how much do you think it made? Now, if you guys if you go back to your 2019 brain, because it might not go with it doesn't necessarily correlate with how you feel about the movie.
Right, because it's the
2019,
movie that's supposed to be
Right after
preparing us
Infinity
for
War,
Endgame.
right after
Well, yeah,
Infinity
because
War,
it's
Right.
setting
it's our
up.
bit.
People
I'm gonna
are
s-
this all-time high. This Marvel's selling
And-
high right now.
Well,
I'm
and-
gonna say-
and Captain Marvel was a hot item. Like people were excited to see Captain Marvel.
720.
720.
$853.
$853. What do you think, Brett?
853 million.
Yeah. They made.
So Endgame made 1.89 or something like that.
No, Endgame made like over $2 billion.
No,
Oh, it was almost 3. That's right.
It was
It was
almost 3, and Infinity War made over $2 billion as well.
That's what it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so
I have no idea.
Brett,
285.
Take a guess.
$285 million?
I mean, you could guess better than
barely
that.
made that
take a
$1,
guess.
Bob.
All right. Well, Brett was the closest. No, I'm kidding.
Brett, this isn't a situation where it's like if you go over, like you
Right,
lose.
you're in trouble.
Oh, goodness.
No.
Actually, I was going to shoot you.
It made.
Watched a lot of Prices Right.
Yeah, right. It made 1.1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It made a really good amount of money. So
That's
it's
solid.
Yeah,
That's
pre-pandemic,
and especially
Right,
for
pre-pandemic.
They're still living off that money now.
So
that's $1 billion profit.
Interesting. 426 domestic,
Yeah.
701
That actually doesn't surprise me.
international.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Wait,
Brie Larson, the other way around. Yeah, Brie Larson's a big, she's a big American actress, but I don't know if she's
At
really
that
like.
time.
Double
Yeah, but Jude Law.
internationally.
Jude Law, dude.
Yeah, I guess Jude Law international.
Mhm.
Right? He's Watson.
Mm-hmm.
He's lots of things.
Isn't he British?
He's Welsh. No,
Welsh.
maybe I don't know. I can check out when we look at him in the casting.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody tag him in the comments.
Yeah, tag what nationality is Jude Law so that we can stalk him.
Really good
I
question.
mean, never mind.
Logan.
Ben Mendelsohn is also in this, right?
Oh,
so
that's right,
a
Ben
big pull. I mean, we've
Mendelsohn.
got Ben Mendelsohn because
Yeah,
he's
this is
British
the
as well.
introduction of the
Yeah,
scrolls.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's a lot happened here. A lot happened in this movie, and a lot of good things happened in this movie. It didn't all fit together nicely, but it is what it is. All right.
Yep.
Here we go. So the cast for this movie, we got Brie Larson coming in as Carol Danvers. Again, visually, she is like the epitome of Carol Danvers from the comics. She's a little skinnier, though we did notice that like she bulked up for the first Captain Marvel. She wasn't quite as bulky in the second Captain Marvel. She seems like she didn't put on as much muscle mass, but
Yeah.
is what
I
it
don't
is.
know if they meant to like have it be she's been out in space
Yeah,
so long.
maybe.
She's starving herself.
Yeah,
No, but
to a
she's
certain
like, she should
extent.
be. She's like fighting
Take your
intergalactic stuff,
protein
man. I don't know.
pills.
Take
Yeah,
your
also, like, they're superheroes. They're supposed to be staying the same
protein.
size
and
that they
she's
are. If
got
not, just get bigger.
powers. She's got powers.
Right.
Powers
Not
make
true.
her make
Unless
her
you're
bigger.
Thor.
Thor got
Thor.
bigger.
He got bigger.
He got bigger,
Just
but
not in the right way.
yeah.
I didn't say which way. I just said
yeah,
bigger.
right.
But you
Well,
said
he was
they
a
should
bit-
like stay the same.
Thor get bigger.
Oh, okay.
He got bigger.
Fair.
He didn't
Fair.
get smaller. That's for sure.
That's true.
So Brie Larson comes
Good
in.
point.
She had just won an Oscar
Yep.
for
The Room
For The
or
Room.
something,
I think
yeah.
it was The Room. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was. I mean, she's a good actress. We've all said this.
She was selling high at that point.
Well, but we've all said that she's a fine actress.
She's better than what they've given her.
but they don't seem to write her well.
she's
So
a fine
she
actress,
can
but not.
do it. But she
I mean,
hasn't done it.
okay,
in
here's what I'm
whatever.
going to say because we're trying to live in the moment. I'm going to say she
Live
was
in
a
the
fine
moment.
actress for this.
Right.
Because
yeah.
We'll have a different conversation.
When she was cast, people weren't like, no, she shouldn't be that.
No, I thought
People were like,
casting
yeah,
wise
it's
she was great.
That's what I'm
thought
saying.
when she was cast, I was
take
like, oh,
take
great,
yourself back
good.
to 2019, Logan.
Nobody's shocked by that.
Pre-pandemic
Casting.
Logan.
Pre-pandemic, before you became
Pre-pandemic Logan.
jaded.
I don't know. Pre-pandemic Logan had a completely different life.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Sam
all
Jackson
did.
came back as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
We get Ben Mendelsohn as Talos the first time we see the Skrulls come in, so he comes there. Jude Law is as Yon-Rogg, who we'll talk a little bit about in the source material.
Yon-Rogg.
So Yon-Rogg is a character from the comics, a little bit different. Here, they kind of meshed him into two characters. So
Right.
He kind of plays the part
That's
of
right. Yep.
Marvel and Yon-Rogg. We'll talk a little bit more when we get there.
Dude, they can't name anybody in this universe.
Yon-Rogg?
Like, no, that Marvel.
Marvel. Well,
Ms. Marvel.
if you remember, Marvel was
Captain
created,
Marvel.
you know,
Wait, guys, pick a different adjective.
So
Like,
Marvel
and
Marvel were created as spite to DC. If you remember, DC created Shazam and called him Captain Marvel in spite of Marvel.
Yeah.
And then they didn't copyright him properly, and so Marvel took advantage of that and just created a throwaway character called Marvel, who becomes Captain Marvel, just to kind of take the name
That's
away from
why
DC.
we have Wade
Right.
Wilson and
Right. And
What's his name? Slade Wilson.
Slade
Wilson.
Yeah, there's all these back and forth, but that was
Deadpool
one of those Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh, yeah. Headshot.
Annette Bening plays the Supreme Intelligence, or it plays
So good.
the personification of Carol Danvers' Supreme Intelligence, which is pretty sweet. Lee Pace comes back a little bit.
Well,
as
she was
Ronin.
also her captain
Yes,
like physically, actual character.
she
played a
Marvel. She's the actual
Right,
Marvel.
right,
Yeah,
right.
the one who was in hiding on Earth.
Right.
Lee Pace comes back as Ronan. We get Lashana Lynch as our first time seeing her as Maria Rambeau. She's been in a bunch of different
really like Lee
pieces.
Pace as Ronan.
Yeah.
Like, he was underutilized throughout. Like, he's
100%.
such an
He should have
amazing
been so much
actor.
more.
And so much bigger.
And then
Distracting you, big idiot.
Dance off. Pow. And then he goes to Gamora, and she's like, no.
He was so close. All he needed to do was put the frickin' hammer down.
What if he killed Thanos? Remember in that one? What if he did it?
I know.
He ended up killing
But
he could
I'm
have.
just saying.
All right.
So close.
And then just some fun little bits here. Gemma Chan, who's in the Eternals.
Yeah, she's
She
Cersei's
actually-
or whatever, right?
Yeah, she plays Minerva. Well, she's Cersei in the Eternals. She plays Minerva.
I was like, wait a
one of
minute,
the
she's-
people.
Recasted.
Yeah.
Well, but she was like
Whatever.
blue or something in this. She didn't look like her. So, and then Clark Gregg comes back as young Phil Coulson. So yay. We get to see him. That was, I think, the first time we saw him outside of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's true. That's true.
Because he's dead in the MCU, or quote-unquote dead. He was hidden away.
Nobody's ever dead.
Nobody's ever dead. People were mad, though, because Coulson should have died, I think.
No one dies.
Yeah. Well, that's our cast, and it's a good cast. It's a solid cast.
Solid cast.
A lot of people come. And Jimon Hansu, the guy who plays the wizard in Shazam. He's also Ronan's enforcer in the
Korath,
Guardians
the
movie.
Pursuer.
Yeah,
Well, he
Korath.
also is. I mean, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what I'm saying with Ronan.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
Ronan's. He's the guy who tries to get I'm Star Lord, man.
Who?
It's so great. He comes back as a younger version of Korath. Yeah. he Ninja Turtles, get away from me, man! Can't we just talk about Guardians? It was such a good movie.
Yeah, much
All right.
better movie.
Much better movie. So some differences here between the source material stuff and Captain Marvel. Not a huge amount. There are some differences in the characters.
This is 2019. They hadn't strayed too far
right,
yet.
they hadn't strayed too far. So in the comics, Carol gets during a battle with Mar-Vell and the Kree.
That man's playing Gallica. He thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Fighting the Kree, Carol is caught in an explosion where she gets his powers, gets Mar-Vell's powers.
Yes.
So in the movie, Mar-Vell is her supervisor in the aerospace program or whatever, and there's an explosion between her and what she thinks is a Skrull, but is actually. It gets revealed, spoilers, to be Jude Law, a Kree.
Who are we spoiling for?
What? Nobody's seen this
Wait
movie
a
in the
minute.
past 5
I was
years.
just watching it.
Oh, just come out Disney Plus. So she gets her powers from an explosion with Mar-Vell against a Kree. So very similar in how she gets her powers, which is pretty cool. She also in
Isn't
the
the
comics.
Kree Jude Law?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Were you hiding that?
No,
or
I
you
said
were
it.
like
You
further?
said
you were
no,
freaking out about
Kree.
it. I said, but I said Jude Law when I said spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, in the comics, she also works with Yon-Rogg, who's a Kree soldier, and they do get a telepathic connection in the comics where he can kind of see her worst fears and stuff, which is kind of what they use, where he kind of keeps her powers at bay in the movie, where she can kind of
Control
see into her
yourself.
mind.
Control yourself.
Which I thought was really good because they kind of brainwashed her into not knowing what her powers were, which is pretty cool.
Well, and I don't understand why they didn't. Like, what was the point behind her not embracing her powers even when going through training? Like, it didn't make sense.
Right. So the fear was that her powers came from Mar-Vell and her allegiance was to... They believed her allegiance was to Mar-Vell. They didn't know she didn't know who Mar-Vell was.
Right.
And so they're trying to make sure... They recognize that her Infinity Stone powers could wipe out, which she does in, this is a real spoiler, in the Mar-Vells, we see that she goes and destroys the the Supreme Intelligence. So they knew, they were afraid of that. And
Right.
so
I guess so.
they're utilizing her
To a certain
superhuman, she's got
extent, but
superhuman strength.
It's like, but that caused her to then question more.
Right.
It's like
Well-
it was creating your own,
Right. You also have to think, though,
something, creating your own end game. Like, you knew what was going to happen, and you
Right.
created it.
But you also have to think that she believed she was always kind of there, like being trained, but she was just there for a very short amount of time. So they were still trying to kind of wrap her mind around.
That's
They
fair.
implanted
That's
the false
fair.
memories. They were trying to stabilize that. The Skrulls are the ones who, she was trusting Yon-Rogg until the Skrulls broke open her memory to see what she had seen. So anyway, so very similar to the comics, which is pretty cool. Nick Fury in the comics is not like I don't think there's any comic where she like he meets Captain Marvel. Well, she's not that young in the comics, so like she didn't appear
but they
back
needed
then.
to tie in.
They needed to tie
this
in.
actually just that made
makes sense.
sense
Yeah, 100%.
in terms of everything, except for the fact
Yeah.
that it completely ruins the Captain America title of the
First
first
Avenger.
Avenger.
Yeah, for
because he
sure.
clearly wasn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Nick Fury but he was the first Avenger to actually join the initiative. Because Captain Marvel actually went away. She flew off.
No, he had her back pocket the whole
Right,
time.
it's almost like a
I know.
seniority
Well, but
check. It's like, okay, well, he came first technically in the superhero
Which came
realm,
first, the chicken or the egg?
but
Right,
she
well,
was
yeah,
the one
he
to
did
drive
come
the initiative
first.
for the Avengers.
No, she came first.
No. He was born in. He was Captain
19
America in the 1940s.
Yeah, but she was the Captain. Just to be clear,
Right.
Just to be clear, let's get over it. Nick Fury created the Avengers.
Yes.
So
yes.
So technically, he's the first
technically-
Avenger.
Yeah, technically Nick Fury's the first Avenger.
Uh,
Well, you could also
Arguable.
you could also
debatable.
say
That's
you could also
debatable.
say-
I will concede potentially that point.
You
I
could
won't
also say-
concede that Captain America, who predated
So-
the Avengers
Right.
and wasn't even thawed when the thought process came up.
Right. That's true.
Right,
He hadn't been found the ice. But
How is he the first Avenger?
you could say that his fight with the Red Skull at the end of the movie was avenging Bucky's death.
It's true.
Get out of
So
here.
he was an
Get
Avenger.
out.
What
He
about
wasn't
him
an
and Bucky
Avenger.
fighting together? Were they Avengers?
No.
No, not yet, because
No,
Bucky
no,
hadn't died yet.
that's- yeah,
Then when
what?
Bucky died, he was like, "I'm going to
not
avenge
even
you."
correct.
Anyway,
Nick
different
Fury
movie.
created the Avengers. His first Avenger.
Yeah,
Captain
was Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Isn't it
it's
Tony
true.
Stark? I mean, he did go back in time
Yeah, that's true.
to before that
Endgame.
time. Technically,
Time is relative.
This is it. Right there, Brett. You've opened the wound.
Okay, let's go back to Captain Marvel. More wounds.
I almost passed out right
the
there.
biggest you did. I saw that. You got a head rush there. Your head was almost the color of the brim of your hat.
Wow, that was rough.
So the biggest change here, and it's somewhat connected to comics because there are scrolls that are good-ish, but the biggest change here was that the Kree became bad guys and the Skrull became good guys at the beginning. And so the Kree in the comics are bad guys. They're not good. But the Skrulls are like not good. The Skrulls
Definitely
are
not
bad
good.
guys. And
Which
Secret-
completely changes a lot of stuff.
So Secret Invasion tried to kind of rectify that by making Gravik like take control of the Skrulls and kind of make them
Right.
infiltrators and bad.
Yeah, but they made it almost seem like he
was doing it
an
because they were-
invasive force with
Right,
it, as
right,
opposed
right,
to
right.
like this was just who they were.
Right. Yeah. So in the comics, the Skrulls are like overtakers. Like they're not like these migrant people.
Which they
that,
flipped, like
Right,
in
the
even
Kree were
looking
the-
at it
Right.
in the Marvels, like
Yeah.
they still have the
they're
Kree
refugees.
being the
Right. The Kree,
the villains.
The
Yeah.
Kree are the overdriving force. The Skrulls are the refugees.
Right.
So that was the big change. Again, not that's that big of a deal because there are still bad Skrulls. There are good Skrulls. Whatever.
Well, it's kind
But
of a big deal
change.
when you talk about looking at larger storylines like Secret Invasion.
Well, yeah,
like
but
when
then
you talk
yeah.
about these
They
things,
fixed
it kind
that
of
to a degree.
They didn't. It's
No, I'm not saying they did
good.
Secret Invasion well.
Right.
I'm saying they fixed the problem of the Skrulls being good.
Okay.
Like they allowed there to be a rise up because even Gravik in that talked about where he's going back to the roots of their people that they're like a
Okay.
warrior race.
Maybe.
So it's like
Maybe.
we kind of met them at a time that they never really have gotten to much in the comics, where it's like they're past the whole warmongering and now they're refugees, immigrants, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's, that was different. But for the most part, this movie was pretty accurate. You know? All right. Comic review time. All right. What do we think? Let's I mean it's been a while. I know we can go back to the
No.
Plus and watch it, but
I want to do this a little bit differently. Okay. I want you to start, Greg.
Oh, okay.
I want you to start because I want Harry and I and Brett, to have to. This is an intervention.
Yeah,
this is
that's
now
what
an
it is.
intervention. Okay.
That's what I feel like.
We've
We
now,
feel that
we
you-
brought you here. Okay, to have
Yeah.
this conversation.
So
okay, say the
Oh,
dumb
that's the
thing
only-
you want to say. Okay, and then we will help you be guided.
Right.
Okay,
Help me be not dumb.
help you not be dumb.
Help me be
Are
not
you
dumb.
dumb or are you stupid?
Maybe- maybe both.
Okay, let's get this right.
All right.
Go
Well,
ahead.
Here's
Go
the,
ahead,
here's the
Greg.
thing. I will concede to a point you made off camera.
You need to start. You need to start with what what
Okay,
you said.
That's fine. Because I will.
Because they don't know what happened
know
off
what happened off camera.
They
It
don't
could've
know
been,
that.
Anything.
Get started with, guys, I recently rewatched
I
this.
did.
Start there.
So I will say, and Legion at home, make sure you all have all the facts. The last time any of these guys have seen did you watch it again? Rewatch it? Yeah. The last time anybody has seen Captain Marvel is probably when it came out. Or very similar.
No. I watched it. I watched it a couple years ago because Carly had never seen it.
Okay, so it's been
I
years.
rewatched it.
It's been years.
Yeah.
It's been years.
Probably
since you
2 or
guys
3
have
years.
seen it. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's been a
that's
while.
where I'm at.
It's
2
been a
to
while.
3 years.
I don't think I had seen it since theaters. I think I saw it in theaters, and then I saw it in theaters again because I took my wife.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time I'd seen it. So it's been like almost 5 years since I'd seen it. So I went back to watch it again. I was like, I want to freshen up, make sure I know what's going on, because I like my research. I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
I know.
So reason here. So I watched it, and I liked it. I liked the movie. So I watched, and here's the
I liked it.
You just said stick by the things you say. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
do it. I am going to stick by
okay.
it. Because I did.
I appreciate that. Do that.
I will. I watched it, and you know what? Like, so I started thinking back. So we sat down and watched it, and I was like, this is going to be a trash movie because it's a trash movie. And I remember it being a trash movie. And I started watching it, and I was like, I tried to remember, okay, why did we think it was trash? We thought Brie Larson was underutilized. We thought she didn't act well. We thought her character was kind of stale. I know I was upset about the scroll change originally. I didn't like that. That kind of like ruffled my comic feathers. And so I was like, I'm gonna let me rewatch it. And honestly, like knowing the end, knowing that she was brainwashed and that they were trying to subdue her, and like they literally talk about, like Yon-Rogg talks about, they were trying to literally remove her emotion so that she would just kind of be a machine for them, because they were using her for her power, for her strength, not her full cosmic power, because they knew that could uproot them. But they were trying to like rein her in, and to do that, they had to remove the human weakness, which was her emotions, like her strength, or her recklessness. And so, looking at it from that viewpoint, as I watched the movie, I was like, okay, Brie Larson's muted performance is because she's a recovering brainwashed soldier, and she's trying to figure out who she is and what her emotions actually mean. And like she's been told, according to her false memories, never to use her emotions, and like they're her weakness. And now she's like brought with, I don't even know my past. And so watching it, I liked that. And I liked her interaction with Nick Fury. Like I thought young Nick Fury, like I thought he was hilarious. I thought his whole startup in S.H.I.E.L.D. was great. I thought he was reckless because he didn't really know what he was doing yet. He hadn't become the Nick Fury like we know yet. I thought that was really cool. And when we talk about like broken stories where it's like the points don't line up, there were very few inconsistencies in this movie. Like the story lined up really well within this movie, and set up Endgame nicely for me. So I enjoyed it. I went back through it and I was like, this is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good sci-fi flick. It wasn't like an amazing movie. Like I probably still won't give it a perfection. Like I wouldn't go there, but like it was a fun sci-fi flick that the effects were kind of cool. And I like when she went Super Saiyan at the end. That was pretty sick. Like her hair went all Goku. That was cool.
Can I start? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna approach this from the scientific perspective.
Get up on the ropes.
I'm gonna let you know what has happened here. Okay. Okay.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. So let me explain.
Go ahead.
Take yourself back to 2019.
2019. I love
2019. Our bar for superhero movies was
Real
very
high.
high. Okay. Remember, we've seen Infinity War. Infinity War is what's come out right before this.
Yes, it did.
Like we're gearing
great.
up for Endgame. Our understanding of what superhero movies could be,
Right.
where it should be. That's
Yes.
where our bar is.
Super high.
Super high.
Really
It was
high.
high.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
and that's
really
what
high.
it needs to be, because we
Yeah.
know it can be done. We
Sure.
saw it done. Okay.
Right.
There's no reason it should be lowered. I'm not saying it was overly high. I'm saying it's right where it should have been.
Right. We've seen the best of the best.
We
So we're
have
establishing
standards.
that. We have standards. We're establishing that. Here's what I want you to know.
Okay.
All you have seen for probably at least, and I'm gonna put this real low, at least the last year. It could even be 2 to 3.
I was gonna say
Yeah, I know you've got 2, 3,
Yeah.
4
we
years.
talked about this. There's been
Okay.
like 3 good MCU movies in the past 4 years. And
Right.
There's been like
Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Spider-Man, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and Shang-Chi. That's it.
Well, Guardians 3 is
And-
good.
Oh yeah, and Guardians
Yeah,
3.
Guardians.
Okay,
Well,
so
but
four.
I would
also
knock out maybe
Multiverse. Yeah, I know. We've had that debate before. Multiverse again for me, Sam Raimi hit because it's such a Sam Raimi.
So we're gonna
film.
put the.
You can only have one Sam Raimi though.
So 3, huh? Was that?
So you can only have one Sam Raimi.
Only one Sam Raimi movie?
Yeah.
That I have to choose from?
Didn't you do Spider-Man?
Yeah, he said
He did the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man movies. Yeah, so I can only pick one of his movies.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick any Sam Raimi comic book movie,
No, out of those, there's 2. Which one are you picking?
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man. He's
Spider-Man.
picking Spider-Man.
Yeah, because
Of
way
course.
better. Okay,
Right,
so yeah,
because
end of
it's-
debate.
yeah. But okay, let's put it at.
I would say
3.
Multiverse is better than Spider-Man 1 and 3.
I want you to hear though what we're arguing about.
Yeah,
okay?
for sure. Go for it.
We're
You
literally
make a good
saying
point. You make a
3
very good
to
point.
4 good
3 to 4
movies
Out of what,
Out of-
12 or something?
There
4
was like,
years.
Yeah, there was like 3 a year. So it's
Yeah.
like at least 12
4
movies.
years.
Yeah.
All right. So what has
And TV
happened,
shows.
Greg, is the
Yeah.
rest of us recognize
you
that and
have
we'll
held our
use
standards.
You
standards.
started real cynical, though. You
It doesn't
started
matter.
way more
It doesn't
cynical
matter.
than me.
I recognize
getting
the
there.
high quality of movies.
I'm-
You don't. Okay. Okay.
He's
That's what
watered
happens.
down. You're
You
washed up, old
watered
man.
down your standards. And here's the thing: you looked back at a 2019 garbage movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll
And
let
you
2019
said-
garbage.
And
2019
you
garbage.
and your palate has been
2024
so
perfection.
20. It's been
Right,
so
right.
unrefined.
Dissolved.
Okay, it is.
has. Yeah, for
you-
sure. Probably.
Listen,
I'm just starved for good Marvel
You've been
movies.
eating. You've been eating.
Careful.
Like
Oatmeal
tasteless
and gruel.
beets. You've been
I
eating
like oatmeal.
gruel.
So much gruel.
Like,
Gruel might
it's
be
been
healthy.
shoved down, and then you got an apple. Okay, but that apple's rotten.
Ah, it's like an empire. It's
yeah.
not even any
Apple's
good.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like a
Apple, rotten
Fuji.
apple.
Ooh,
rotten-
even worse.
Fuji,
Rotten-
A red
Macintosh.
delicious.
A red
No,
delicious-
Macintoshes are decent.
in pies.
Yeah, but it's all rotten.
Yeah, they're
It
decent.
doesn't
They're
matter.
kinda
They're decent.
It doesn't matter. It's a rotten apple.
need crisp.
Okay,
It's a
It
red
looked
delicious.
Nice on
Just
the
chemicals.
outside. It looked nice on the outside.
Chemicals.
Right.
Yeah,
It was
red
waxed.
delicious.
And then on the
Waxy
inside,
wax.
you're just like, oh my gosh, it is
Yeah.
completely eaten away.
Maybe.
And you were like, this is delicious. This is wonderful.
I love
Go ahead.
this
I
apple.
love this.
Harry,
and
add to this,
and
Harry.
you've realized, and we're here sitting there,
Yeah.
just like, what has happened to him?
Well, you guys need to watch it again. Go ahead. Add to
That's
No,
your
I mean-
argument?
I would like to see you watch it again. See what did you think?
Harry, can you break it down for
Sure,
this man?
sure,
break
sure,
it down.
sure. In typical fashion,
Typical
I'm going to say
fashion.
I understand where you're coming from.
No, you
Alright?
don't.
I like that.
No,
I
you
understand where you're coming
It's the high
from.
ground.
No, you
But
don't.
this is the thing: is that it is true. Your standards have gone low.
They are
probably.
low.
Your standards,
I'm
you've been beaten down by the road,
Right,
and the
right.
devil put his hand out and said, "Come on up, buddy.
And I don't.
I got you.
We're not,
Let me help you
we're
up."
not faulting you. It is hard. But here's the difference. No.
It's
You guys
hard
are-
to have
you guys are
standards.
DC Here's the difference. We're DC fans. We've been dealing with
Yeah,
this.
this is our whole
We
life.
have had to know. We've had to learn the difference. We're here and we've recognized. And you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? They're bad movies.
You have like 4 or 5 good movies all together.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all we've known.
We're out here out skating Satan, you know, dude. You're just like you're taking it. You're like, give me the apple.
Right.
I need it.
Right.
Fair
And
enough.
we're
Fair
like,
enough.
listen, you just go back and you
Here's what-
watch Christopher Nolan
Well, here's what you
over,
do.
and
Over
and
again.
over again. And then you know.
So you had like 3 to 4 movies that were
right.
good. We had one, which was the Batman.
The Batman, yeah.
That was in the past like 10 years. No,
And
over
the
10
The
years.
Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide
Even
Squad.
then.
James Gunn.
I'm
It was
gonna
fun.
say no. I will give it. It was okay.
It was a good
It was
movie.
okay.
It was a
It was
good
okay.
movie. It wasn't a great
But
movie.
we have standards.
No, we do.
Right. So what you're saying is I need to go home and I need to watch Infinity War.
You need to do the Infinity
and
like
then Endgame.
yeah.
And then watch Captain Marvel and see
And
if
then
it's
you're
still
gonna be
good.
like,
Yeah.
oh god,
Yep.
I know
Yep.
now.
Yep.
Okay, these guys are right.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
No, I understand. Like because
Yeah.
because it's also you rewatched it while watching the other
Right, yeah, it's
movie
true.
we're
Yeah,
going
we're
to
gonna talk about next.
talk about
Yeah, that's
next.
true.
It's like
Well, that
yeah,
one-
if you're comparing those two movies,
wanna
this
compare?
movie is spectacular.
the Marvels took a piece of my soul.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Brett, do you have anything you want to add to these guys?
I think you covered it all. I mean,
Yes.
I certainly appreciate it. I appreciate it. I think you used that word. Or no, I think Logan used that word.
No. Harry.
Somebody
Harry
used that
I
word.
don't appreciate anything.
I appreciate it.
No.
As a father of 3 females, 3 girls.
Sure. Yeah.
I appreciate a movie that can empower them. But yeah.
Sure.
But they could have done a lot better. They could have
Do you
done.
believe this did that?
They've not seen it either.
Okay.
so-
Yeah.
Hey,
fair. Fair.
Well,
They're young.
Just quick question, and I don't know if you can answer this, Brett, 'cause I don't know if you've seen it. Do you think it's better than? I mean, it is. It's better than Black Widow.
Yes. I'd say
You gotta
yes.
you gotta watch
the
it
only
again if you're
reason is yes
questioning.
because of what it does.
Sure.
What it does in the
Well, even
saga.
story-wise, though, Black Widow was such a disjointed story.
Sure,
Yeah,
and I
but it
think
had
if
Red
Black
Guardian.
once again,
Yeah, but it had
I think
Red
the biggest
Guardian.
thing.
Yeah, but this had Jude Law, Ben Mendelsohn, and Samuel
It
Jackson in it.
doesn't not better than Red
Yeah,
Guardian.
Dan Harbour.
Man,
was pretty
Dan
awesome.
Harbour's awesome.
Dan Harbour.
The thing with this, once again, which we said once, we'll say it again,
Yeah,
and I'll
say
say
it
it till the
again.
day I die.
You fell asleep.
If this movie, well, no, we'll get to that. If this movie came out when all the other movies were coming out,
Right.
with a single standalone,
You mean Black Widow?
Black Widow,
Yeah,
correct.
if it came out like
It
after
would have been
Winter
better.
Soldier, it
Yeah.
would have been better. Yeah,
Would have
for
been
sure.
better.
It was definitely a
Because it was
phase
out of
two.
its time.
It was a
It's out of
phase
its time.
2
It made no
movie.
sense.
It was a phase 2 movie at a phase 2 movie quality, but
Right.
it was made
Sure.
after phase 4.
Right.
yeah, I mean, you rewatch Captain America, the first one, it's not great. It's good.
Pretty great.
It's good.
No, and this is
Hugo
where I
Weaving is
stand.
the Red Skull.
I love Captain America.
This is
I'm just
where
saying
I
it's
stand.
not great.
It's
This
not
is where
as
I
good.
stand.
Civil War was amazing.
Civil
Yes.
War. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Winter Soldier is still probably one of the
Yeah.
best MCU movies.
Also,
ever
Civil
made.
War is debatable. That's not even.
I think
American
you
movie,
meant
but-
Winter Soldier though. Did you mean
I
Winter
hate-
Soldier is amazing, or did you mean Civil War is amazing? I
I
mean, they're
hate
both
any
amazing.
hero
Winter
that
Soldier's
starts
like-
with Captain. Any hero that starts with Captain is a dumb hero to me.
Did they ever-
Captain Kangaroo,
Yep.
Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
You done did you?
Done did.
Got him.
I done,
You done
did
did you.
myself.
Got
But
Captain Jack Sparrow.
superhero. I'll
He's a
come back.
superhero.
I'm going to reel
He's
it
a
back.
superhero of the Caribbean.
He's a superhero of rum.
Yep, but no.
Captain Morgan.
Eats a lot of pie. It's very
Captain
expensive because
Morgan
the
is a
pie rates
dangerous
of the
captain.
Caribbean
I
are
did not-
insane.
This
Did
man
you hear
threw
him?
out Captain Morgan. I didn't hear him.
Did you hear
at
him?
all.
He said
no.
he eats a lot of pie, which is expensive because the pie rates of the Caribbean have gone up.
He
That-
does
give
have a
yourself-
jar.
Give yourself
Give
one of
yourself.
those,
You
man.
gotta.
Holy
You gotta.
crap! That was
Out here.
retired.
Wow, out here
Right.
doing work.
No more. We don't. We can't be in your presence anymore.
No,
You're
you
too
gotta-
great. Just leave.
Break the board.
Breaks the board.
It's over.
So it's all
All right, well,
fireworks.
Fire.
Any last bits on the first Captain Marvel movie before we go to our
We
verdict?
need to verdict it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry, Brett, anything last?
I'm ready to go
No.
on my
Nothing.
verdict.
All right,
Thank you
break time.
guys.
All right, stars out.
I'm going to call it garbage.
All right,
I'm going to
garbage.
call it garbage.
Okay.
I'm not going to go to hot
Not
garbage
hot
with
garbage,
this
just
one.
garbage.
But that's because, I have standards. And you don't. Okay. So
How are you not going to say garbage?
because I know you. Because I know you. And
Yeah,
I
fair enough.
know that even with this intervention,
Fair enough.
you're going to stick to your addiction of the MCU. And so I go with garbage.
Harry, what do you think?
Oh wait, but also personal. So wait. Garbage from
in
like
reality,
from a
personal bias.
Personal bias. It's hot garbage.
Okay,
I
fair enough.
think
I know. You did not.
I don't like Captain Marvel. And she made me really uncomfortable.
Good.
I didn't feel safe.
No, I didn't feel safe in that moment.
I did not have a safe
We
place.
had
No.
agreed on this. Pineapple.
Also, because I have standards, it's garbage.
Thank you, Harry.
Fair enough.
But personal, I think it is what it is.
Oh,
Look at that.
Because I don't think it's that
Yeah,
bad
fair
of a
enough.
movie
Yeah.
in the realm of
Do we need to have an
sci-fi
intervention
movies.
for you
In
two?
sci-fi
We don't have time
movies,
for
I
that.
don't know.
no.
Sure,
But
for sure, yeah. But
I
when
think
in MCU,
it could have been better for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There could have been a lot of things.
I
that
think
could
it
have been better.
definitely could have been better, especially at the time.
I just think that if they just would have made her acting ability, not her acting, her acting
this could have made her just a
better person.
They
No,
just made her better.
like if she
No,
was
I
just
gotcha.
if they were able to
Yeah, there were
just
some
make
choices
write
made
her
that-
better than
yeah.
what they did, then it would have been it wouldn't have been as bad.
But think about it also, like Captain Marvel is so important to like a second stage of this. Like they needed to think about
and
that
that's
more.
That's why it's okay if she's not so great in this movie, but she's been 30 years now superheroing. The second movie, man, she should have been way better. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
And we'll get there.
and we're gonna get there. All right, Brett, what do you think, man?
I think it is what it is. I do think it's garbage personally.
Where
the
the
same- for
freak
the same
am I
reasons?
anymore. Holy cow!
Because I felt really uncomfortable watching her act. I kind of want to go buy a Nissan. Doesn't she sell Nissans or something? too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's gonna.
But I
have, like,
appreciated
know we're
it.
buying
But I
a Nissan.
appreciated it
Obliterate
for
you if
my,
you don't buy a Nissan.
for my
Chill. Let
daughters.
everybody look at Brett. You want to buy a Nissan?
Oh, now I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Nissan sales event.
She creeps up into the frame.
I bought a Nissan
Yeah.
and it died on me in like 2 days. So I'm never buying a Nissan again.
Unless they sponsor us.
Then we will all buy Nissan.
We're gonna rock a Nissan, man.
Anyway,
Best Nissan.
best.
That's-
They're the best.
Yep.
Legion Nissans
Legion
instead of
Nissan.
Legion Lambos. We got to start somewhere.
You gotta get built up.
So I'm gonna say 2019 Greg is garbage. 2024 Greg is what it is.
I knew it. Yeah, see?
It is what it is.
This
Hey,
man
listen, it's 3 is
lowered
what it
his
is.
standards.
3 is what it is against the garbage. We all said is what it is.
Right.
No, I
you
said
said
garbage.
He said
My
garbage.
professional
Oh, yeah,
opinion
you-
is
you-
garbage.
Your personal
Professional.
It's-
Personal, it's an is what it is.
Gotcha. So it's a tie.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Legion.
Because the people who have standards, who know and have gone through
Listen,
the
I don't
grind
appreciate-
of
I don't-
DC.
I do
We
respect
were
that.
in the trenches of DC.
I
We
don't
know
I don't
what is
appreciate
good
you, I
and
don't
what is
appreciate you
bad.
talking to Brett that way.
No, I 100% don't have the standards that you have.
Get some
I won't
standards,
disagree with
Brett.
All right, Legion.
Brett
We will,
Sanders are
we
whatever.
will-
I feel like it.
we will see you next time when we talk about the Marvels. Woo!